Peaches in Regalia is one of the most popular Frank Zappa tunes, even liked by some of those listeners who are largely repelled by the overall Zappa catalogue and persona. For good reason. It's a classic fusion tune, very listenable and purely diatonic throughout. At the same time, it shows the usual inventiveness and quirks in how it's all put together. I haven't seen a proper nitty-gritty analysis of this piece, only ad hoc reaction type stuff. So I thought might as well make one of my own and go through it in detail over all the key changes, sequences, chords, scales, and so on. The overall form of the piece is ABA, whereby the latter A has some modifications. As you can see, there's a crazy amount of key changes, 12 in total, which is something that's actually exhausting to many composers, which is why minimalism became a thing. Let's take a look at the two central themes. The first part is in B Dorian, where the 1 chord alternates with the 4 chord. Alternating the 1 and 4 chord in Dorian is one of the more popular and obvious ways to establish the Dorian mode. Zappa uses these chords in their extended forms. I can hear the B minor 9 in the piano and an E7. There's a melody going down the B Dorian scale from D to G sharp, which is harmonized in diatonic triads, always maintaining that first inversion shape. The second part, the second central theme, is a 4-bar theme repeated once. I hear this one more as A major, which is of course the parent key of B Dorian, because it cadences to A at the end. Not in a traditional way, of course, but in sort of a rock type of way. With a G sus4, D sus2, A. I know the lead sheet says C sus2 instead of G sus4, but the bass clearly plays a G at this point, playing that classic rock root movement, going from the flat 7 to the 4 to the 1. Zappa reuses these B minor and A major chords to form the basis of a sequence, which gets transposed upper minor third twice in a row. The last chord of each batch leads into the next chord via semitone. The last batch in the sequence in the key of E flat gets modified a little and leads down a major second to the D flat mixolydian mode, punctuated by these D flat major arpeggios. Then again we modulate down a major second to B mixolydian. Modulations a major second down aren't really jarring, as they're fairly closely related keys, only 2/5 apart in the circle of fifths and with 5 notes in common. Arriving in B mixolydian prepares the seamless 5-to-1 movement to the following E major chord of the next section. What follows is another highlight of the piece. 12 bars in E major, a fixed guitar solo doubled by the flute, which is a great sounding combination. We have the alternation of the 1 and 2 chords. This sounds doo-wop inspired to me, that 50s genre of love song that Zappa adored. Over these chords, he uses the E major pentatonic, which is a pretty obvious but effective choice. Following those 8 bars, with the 1 and 2 chords, we have the A major and G sharp minor alternation, which are the 4 and 3 chords in their extended form. A major add 9 and G sharp minor 7. Over this section, he used the G sharp minor pentatonic. When playing that pentatonic scale over the A major chord, this results in all of those nice tensions like the major 7, the 2, the sharp 4 and the 6. These are basically blues licks, completely native to the guitar. In the next 4 bars, Zappa showcases how to throw a bunch of unrelated major triads together and have them make complete sense to the ear. Yeah, one might say that C major and D major chords belong to the key of G, the B flat, E flat, A flat major chords belong to the key of E flat, F and G belong to the key of C, and those chords at the intersections are a third apart, having one note in common. Chords a third apart are called medians by music theorists, by the way. But the actual secret to why Zappa chose these chords instead of any others lies in the root movement, which has a little system to it. There's zigzag motion of the intervals, going up, down, up, down, up, down, always jumping over the previous notes. One could say the roots are fanning out from a central axis. There's a coherence to this which makes those chords sound perfectly logical together. Zappa then seemingly sets up the dominant chord in the G7 sus, but it doesn't resolve to C. It leads to F major for the anthemic climax of the tune, which is a basic 1-5-4 progression in the key of F major. Let's listen to how it would have sounded had Zappa actually followed the G sus chord with a conventional C. Maybe this was too trite and banal for Zappa, who substituted the traditional 5-1 movement with other kinds of root movements, like moving in major or minor seconds, both up or down. After that climax, the arpeggiated section appears again, in basically identical form, apart from some octave displacements, but transposed down a minor third. This makes the whole thing land on an E sus, which leads nicely back to the B Dorian key for the recapitulation of the A section with its two central themes. The recapitulation of this main theme has some variations in the instrumentation, and there's a counter melody going on, moving in sixths.